Hello everybody, welcome to today's discussion. Today we will be looking at some word problems on multiplication and division of fractions. So let's start. Word problems on division and multiplication of fractions. Let us start with a fairly easy example. Suppose you have a string measuring 1.5 meter. You want to divide it into, say, 6 equal parts. So the question is, what is the length of each part? So you have a string measuring 1/5 meter and you want to divide it into 6 equal parts. So you are asked what is the length of each part. Now the question actually says what you have to do. You have to divide 1/5 into how many parts? 6 equal parts. Only then you can get the length of each part. So let's see. Length of each part equals to how much? What is the length of the whole string? 1/5 meter. And into how many parts I have to divide? I have to divide into 6 equal parts. So if I perform this division, I will be able to get the length of each part. In the next step, what you have to do? You have to take reciprocal of 6. So what is the reciprocal of 6? Reciprocal of 6 is 1/6. And after taking the reciprocal, what you have to do? You have to multiply these two fractions together. So you know the rule of multiplication, multiplying the numerators together, which gives us 1, multiplying the denominators together, which gives us 5 into 6, 30. 1/30. So after this, let's look at another example. Well, suppose you have 6/5 kg of sweets. You want to distribute the sweets equally among 6 boys. So how much will each boy receive? So let's move on to the answer. How much sweet you have in total? 6/5 kg. Now you want to distribute it equally among 6 boys. Since you want to distribute it equally among 6 boys, what does it mean? It means you want to divide 6/5 kg equally among 6 boys. So what is the operation that you need to perform? Division. So let's just straight away move to the answer. So each boy receives how much? 6 by 5 divided by 6. Now in the next step, what to do? Multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. What is my divisor? 6. What is its reciprocal? 1 by 6. Now you look in this direction. In this direction we have two numbers, 6 and 6, that share a factor 6, which is not equal to 1. Other than 1, they share a number 6 as factor. So let's cross it out. What do I get here? 1, 1. Now we can multiply the numerators together, which gives us 1, and we can multiply the numerators together, which gives us 5. So how much does each boy receive? 1 by 5 kg. Now let's look at some problems involving multiplication of fractions. Let's suppose there is a train and it travels at say 52.5 kilometer per hour. Now what does this per hour means? This means that in every hour, or if 1 hour passes, how much kilometer does it travel? 52.5. So the question says, how much distance does the train cover in say 3 hours? Okay, let me move on to the next page. Answer. In order to solve this problem, at first we must understand how much does the train travel per hour or every hour, or in 1 hour how much does it travel? Well, it is given 52.5. And what distance we are supposed to find? The distance it travels in 3 hours, which means I have to multiply this number by this number, and in that way I can reach the answer. So let's do that. Distance travel is equal to 52.5 into 3. So what will be my first duty? My first duty will be to convert this mixed number into improper fraction. So let's do that. 52 into 2. What do I get? 2 2s are 4, 5 2s are 10. That is 104. 104 plus 1 gives me how much? 105, and 2 comes to the bottom. Now what to do? Multiply by 3. Is there any scope of cancelling common factors? No. So what you have to do? You have to just carry out the usual rule for multiplication, which is multiplying the denominators together and multiplying the numerators together. There is nothing beneath 3, but we can always assume that there is a 1. So we have 2 as the denominator on the first fraction. We have 1 as the denominator on the second fraction. So 2 into 1 gives me how much? 2. We have 105 as the numerator on the first fraction and 3 as the numerator on the second fraction. So how much do I get? 5 into 3 gives me 5, carry 1. 300 plus 1 gives me 1. 3 ones are 3. So I get 315 by 2 kilometers. You can either leave it in this form or you can convert it into mixed fractions or mixed number. So what to do? Let's divide. 2 ones are 2. 2 5s are 10. 2 7s are 14 and 1.5. Now let's check whether our calculation is correct. 7 to the 14, 4, carry 1. 5 to the 10 plus 1, 11, carry 1. 2 plus 2, plus 1 3, so we get 314 here, plus 1 315. That's it, our calculation is correct. So in 3 hours the train travels 315 by 2 kilometer or 157 and a half kilometer, who's at the speed of how much? 52 and a half kilometer per hour. So let's wrap up this discussion with another simple example on multiplication. Well, suppose you have no, let's cross it out. Suppose you want to collect subscriptions for a particular program. Okay, now each person has to donate or give 100 and a half taka. So what will be the total amount of subscriptions collected from, let's say, 20 people? It's an easy problem. Every person has to donate or give how much? 100 and a half taka. And from how many persons you will collect? 20 people. So you just have to multiply these two numbers together. So let's move on to the answer. So total amount collected 100 and a half into 20. So similar to the previous problem, we have to at first convert the first number into improper fractions. So 100 into 2 gives me how much? 200. 200 plus 1 gives me how much? 201 divided by 2. Now this will be multiplied by 20 by 1. Why 20 by 1? Because beneath 20 there is nothing. Since there is nothing, we can always assume that beneath 20 there is 1 as the denominator. Now look, here I can cancel a common factor of 2 between 2 and 20 in this direction. So let's do that. 2 ones are 2, 2 tens are 20. So 1 into 1 gives me how much? 1. So there is 1 in the denominator. There is no need to write that. What is there in the numerator? 201 into 10. So how much do I get? 2010 taka. So these are some typical problems that you might face in the word problems involving fractions. You will, since this discussion is concerned about multiplication and division, I have just shown the typical problems that you might face while multiplying or dividing two numbers expressed either as proper fractions or improper fractions or as mixed numbers. So with this today I end my discussion today. Thank you.